This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at First Look LA 2014, presented by Los Angeles Venture Association, right here in LA. I have with me Dr. Natasha Lepore of ClickBrain. It's a private company. Natasha, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for having me on.
It's good to have you. Okay, tell the audience about ClickBrain.
Well, so ClickBrain is a software for children.
Now, it's a software for children. How does it help children? What does it do for children? And how do children use it?
So ClickBrain is a software that the radiologist uses to look at children's brain and understand better whether the child is developing normally and if there's any potential problems that then the neurologist needs to look at.
So what's your background?
Well, so my background is in theoretical physics, but I actually right now work in brain imaging. I do brain imaging engineering.
So how did you come up with this idea, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Well, actually, so we actually talked to radiologists at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and they told us that this was a very important need that they had, that right now there is nothing quantitative to look at children's brains, and that they wanted something where there was going to be an answer to their question that was more than just looking at the images, there was actual quantitative answer to their different questions about children's brains.
So you came up with the software to determine a comparison of brains or historical perceptions? I mean, what's the internal workings of how the software works?
So what the software does is that it actually looks at children's brain MRI and it compares it to other children of the same age and sees how far each regions of the brain are developing compared to a normal child.
Is this based on normal child development? Is it useful in treating injuries? What's the specific uses of it?
Well, so it'll actually be used across the board. So it's useful for development in particular. So any sort of diseases where development is impaired, so any sort of genetic disease, for example, where the brain is not developing normally. It can also be used for traumatic brain injury, but the primary use will be for developmental disorders.
So it's really comparative in nature, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not a diagnostic software, so it's an aid to the radiologist. So it's helping the radiologist and the neurologist diagnose better.
Is it age limited?
So right now we're focusing mostly on very young children because that's the population that has the most need at the moment. So this is where a lot of these diseases initially show themselves. And so we're focusing right now on 0 to 5 years old. But eventually we are going to look both at older age ranges, and we also just hired a specialist that works on fetuses. And so we're also going to expand to the fetal range in the near future.
Wow, this is a really interesting area of study. What made you go into it?
Well, that's a good question. So, do you mean how I decided to do this?
Natasha, why did you do this?
Well, so I've been working on the brain for a long time, and started working at Children's Hospital, and saw that the radiologist software right now is very basic. It's very, they just see the image visually, and there's not all of the sophisticated tools that we have in research, and you get to the clinic and all you have is a radiologist looking at images, and it just seemed like there was a lot that could be done in that space. So
that's very practical from your experience to foster a development from that. I'm very impressed. For people to reach you, what's the best way to do that?
So there's several different ways. So maybe the easiest one is our website. So we have a lab at Children's Hospital, and it's called the Cyborg Lab. So we have a website. It's cyborg-lab.org. And you can also reach it with my name, natashalepore.org. And otherwise, my contact information is also on the Children's Hospital Los Angeles website.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Natasha Lepore, ClickBrain, ClickBrain. It's a private company. I'm Shelley Kraft with First Look LA 2014, presented by the Los Angeles Venture Association. Let me wish you luck, and I want to thank you for coming on to SNN Live.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.